All right, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. So excited. We are just coming off of our Ladies Power Lunch Fall Summit. And so if I seem like I'm in a really, really good mood, do not be alarmed. It's just all that wonderful good vibes that was coming from our summit. It's just so good, so outstanding. We had an amazing group of speakers. We launched an outstanding anthology of stories called Be the Beacon. If you have not as yet gotten your copy of Be the Beacon, may I invite you, go to Amazon, download it. It's outstanding. I read it cover to cover and I'm still going back, like underlining things and just enjoying the fact that, you know what, we have things that go on in our lives that we might not consider to be ideal, but some of these things that we've gone through are the things that help us to shine our lights brighter, that help us to serve the people that we're here to serve. So I'm just so tremendously grateful to all our authors who stepped up and shared their stories in our anthology. Tremendously grateful to every one of our authors who stepped up and did a full workshop for Ladies Power Lunch for our summit. That was just outstanding. And I want to invite you, if you have not as yet seen all the workshops, because we went into breakout rooms and some people got to be in some people got to be in others. If you're curious about any of the workshops that you might have missed, might I invite you to travel back in time? I know time travel is not a thing yet, but you can actually go back to Monday and Tuesday of this week and enjoy every minute that was our outstanding summit just by logging back into the Encaptive portal. Encaptive is it's a software that we used to produce Ladies Power Lunch. Instead of just having everybody sitting on a Zoom meeting all day long for 2 whole days, that would have been a little bit too much. Am I right? So instead of doing that, we used this very agile platform called Encaptive, which allowed us to network with each other and to workshop with each other. It allowed us to visit our sponsor booths and it allowed us to get our free gifts and all of this fun stuff. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, may I invite you, go ahead and check it out. If you don't already have a summit ticket, you don't have to worry about it. Just connect with Sandy. You could call us in the office, 860-589-1491. She'll get you a ticket. She'll get you in. You can enjoy the summit. It's like we're giving you a time portal to go back in time so you can take advantage of this. I think I've talked enough. Let me introduce our friends who joined us here in our Zoom studio today. I would love to invite Christy and Michelle to please go ahead, introduce yourself, say who you are, where you're calling in from, and what it is that you do. Christy, would you like to start?
Thank you, Dr. Davia. And I had the pleasure of talking with Michelle for a moment before you came on. But hi, Michelle. Hi, everyone. My name is Christy Borst. I'm a spiritual guide and intuitive energy healer. I work to help people release physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual blocks and pain within their body and energy fields so that they can step up and be that truer self they're here to be. I'm calling from Wells, Maine.
We love Maine. We just adore Maine. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm texting back and forth here with the friends in the Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group. Just want to say hi to Barb and Hannah. They're sending you highs as well. And just remember, if you are watching along with us in the Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group, please, why don't you just drop a comment, say hi. For one, if you drop a comment, you will get entered in today's Free Gift Friday drawing. Awesome. So we're here today to talk to a dear friend who's also a co-author, best-selling author, in fact, of our new anthology, Be the Beacon. Her name is Michelle Lemoi, and she's going to be sharing a little bit with us about her part in this whole book writing process. So Michelle, welcome. Will you share with everybody who you are, what it is that you do, and you can even tell us where you're calling in from?
Wonderful. Dr. Davia, thank you so much for having me a guest today. I so appreciate it. Christy, always great to connect with you, and for everyone out there joining us today, hello, and hope you're having a great Friday. I'm calling in today from Tolland, Connecticut. I'm in my safety orange because I was out on a job site a couple of hours ago measuring. And just wanted to talk about today this process of, being the beacon, and why I was drawn to the anthology was just this light. I I show up. My goal is to show up fully and be there. I've done that for my son over the last 15 years. I found that my story is about my trauma growing up and how I did not want to parent my son the way that I had been parented, and the journey that I went through, and then a lot of other things that happened in my life as I continued to step into my authentic self, my true self, what that was like. And as Dr. Davia said, some of those times are not always that pleasant, and there can be very challenging, but perseverance and resilience, and just knowing that I'm being called to do something different. And so as I have wound my way through this journey, earlier this year created a community for women in construction called Elevate Women in Construction. I have 27 years experience in the business, and I am typically the first, the only, or one of few, and that has not changed in those 27 years. And so the idea was born to create a support community for these women where they can come and be seen and heard, they can network, they can gain valuable resources and training so that they can learn how to go from surviving in their environment to thriving, and for showing up for their best version of themselves. And so this has just been such a journey in writing my story and sharing my story, and really stepping into the light that I've in the profession and the job that I'm being called to do. So thank you for letting me share that.
I'm really excited that we're talking to you. I mentioned on the summit that one of the things that I enjoy doing, perhaps more than all the other things, is talking to the women who are our next generation of female leaders. And I have had the opportunity to talk to some of these women who are thinking about a career in construction, and to be able to have somebody that I can point them to and say, hey, I know somebody who will be a great mentor for you, to be able to have you in my so-called Rolodex is amazing to me. Something that showed up while we were in the summit is that you're now going to be doing some work with younger women as you help them to find their feet in that construction industry. Can you say a little bit more about that? That's so interesting to me.
Absolutely. So part of this is, how do we, as people that have a lot of experience, share that with those and bring more women into the industry? And so recently, actually Wednesday night after the summit, we had our inaugural Women's Circle for the month of October. And I had two young women who are students in the architecture program. One's at Carnegie Mellon and one was here at UMass Amherst. And they came in and they were like, wow, we had a couple of women that were experienced in the group besides myself. And we started just sharing with them. And they were like, this is fantastic to have a place to go where we can get our questions answered. I was talking to my employer this morning about what I need to do to be prepared to go to a job site, and they couldn't tell me. I said, oh, no problem. We can totally help you out with that. And then take that step back even another, 4 or 5 years into the middle school and the high school level. How do we have those girls that want to be in STEM or want to be in construction and know what that looks like? What are the programs that I can create over the next year that we can start partnering and collaborating to give these young women a chance to see what it's like and if it's something they'd like to pursue?
I love that, because you know what, Michelle, here's the thing. At least to make it an option for them is what we want to do. I'm not that old, guys. I know you might consider me to be from the dinosaur ages, but I'm really not that old. And what I can tell you for 100% certain is that I have an engineering mind. My grandfather is an engineer. I have a bunch of uncles who are engineering. whatever they do in their lives, they're engineers in their profession. Engineering is probably in my blood. There was like a half a second when I considered being a civil engineer, but it was never something that was encouraged for women. It was actually more encouraged for me to go be a doctor than for me to even consider engineering. Engineering was more for the boys. And I remember when I was working in occupational health, so, you know, um, in healthcare, but still on the more construction side. And I would put my hard hat on and I would be out there with the guys, making sure that everything was basically up to OSHA standards. And I remember being the one and only woman on site in those times. So I really appreciate that you are out there paving the way. I know it feels like, oh my goodness, we're in 2021. We shouldn't be thinking about gender roles in any kind of occupation, but somehow in that construction field, there still seems to be limitations. So shining your light, being a beacon for women in that area is really tremendously important. Thank you for doing that. So we talked a little bit about the book. What made you say yes to being a part of that project?
So I said yes because I was holding myself back. I knew that I was not going to get to my next level of sort of breakthrough if I didn't write my story. And so it just so happened that I had joined a story workshop in June. And the woman that was facilitating sat down with me, Kim Fuller, and she said, "What's going on?" And I said, "I can't even answer the first couple of questions. I can't even answer who I am or how should I introduce myself to people." And she said, she walked me through some journal questions, and suddenly I had this download for this, for my story. And I thought, well, this is interesting. Now I have this story. What am I going to do with it? And I literally heard you and Elizabeth Hill say, our next anthology is Be the Beacon. And I thought, well, this is interesting. I have this story. Let me connect with Elizabeth and see if there's some sort of, synchronicity here. And chatted with her. And that story ended up becoming my chapter in Be the Beacon. And it really took the power away from the guilt and the shame that I was living in surrounding my story, and now having it published and out there, it's not so scary, and I can embrace all of me, including my trauma, including all the mistakes I've made along the way, because I now can give myself the grace of understanding why I made some of those choices. And I feel like that was very important to share that with others. And it really has. It's been very transformational and very healing. So thank you.
So let me get this right. You're saying that writing your story as part of the anthology, it was a healing process for you. But you're also saying that something shifted as a result of sharing your story with others. I truly believe that the things that we go through put us in a better position to help others as they go through whatever their situations are. And so there really, really is room for us to share our stories. I think we hold on so tightly to things that we feel shame around and things that we don't want to share, when in sharing, we could all be supporting each other. I
Yeah,
really, really do believe that.
I agree. And I don't know that until someone like Christy, before we started today, mirrors back and sees you and hears you, right? When I was talking about it at the Ladies Power Lunch Summit, and I was getting choked up, and I happened to just glance over to the chat, and I see wonderful supportive women saying, "Michelle, I see you. Michelle, you've got this. Michelle, your story's amazing. Michelle, keep going." I didn't have that 6 months ago, right? Before I had even, written this or thought about it. And so it is so amazing to be able to release that story and know that there are beautiful women out there that will support that. And I might be able to have an impact on somebody else to know that they're not alone.
So now you're a best-selling author. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. I have loved writing. I'm excited to write my book for next year, hopefully for release. I'm working with Elizabeth and Robin Finney again. And it's so, now it's a mission, right? Instead of it being about me, it's a mission on how can I put something together to help serve others, and how can I get it out into more people's hands, and how can I do that and help and have people understand what it's like to be a woman in construction, and put it out there with some humor and some grace, and it's just, and to be a best-selling author with other amazing women who are sharing their stories and then being supported by you and Elizabeth, it was amazing. It's fantastic. I highly
I
recommend
love
it.
that. So, I mean, anybody could always go out, and publish a solo book. That's always an option that's available. But what did you like about being part of an anthology as opposed to starting with your solo project?
Yeah, I think anthologies are great because you meet amazing co-authors, right? The support system that we met first of all, we met every month. We were guided through the process, which was so easy, so supportive. You start making connections with your co-authors because even though you don't know their stories, you just immediately feel that connection. So I've spoken with Christy, I've spoken with Wendy Lee, everyone. I tried to get around to every other author that was in the group, because you're in this together, and there's so much more power and inspiration when you're doing it collectively, right? There's just a lot of energy, good energy behind it. And I think that for me was so important. I just felt very lovingly held throughout the process, and that collective feminine energy.
So tell us a little bit, just a tiny bit, because I want people to really go out and get the book. I've read it cover to cover and gone back and underlined things, and it just keeps being a source of inspiration for me. But I could stay here all day long telling everybody, you gotta read it, you gotta read it. But I feel like hearing from the authors themselves makes a huge difference. So if you'll just give us a snippet of what your story is about to encourage us to go get the book, read it, and enjoy it, what would you share with us today?
I would share with you that for me, my story, again, was sort of about me parenting my son very differently than I had been parented. And in doing that, I was on a very destructive path in my life at the time. And I firmly believe divinely he was brought into my life for me to learn how to love myself, because I wasn't. And in order for me to love myself, I needed to know what it was like to love another unconditionally. And so I poured everything I had into my son. And my story talks about how that in turn has now become a pivoting point for me to start learning to love myself and accepting myself. And I'm just so grateful for him for choosing me.
I know. Being a mom is so awesome. Congratulations. So, so excited for you. So excited for you being a best-selling author, an acclaimed Ladies Power Lunch speaker. You are doing all the things. You're getting the word out about young women being able to enter the field of construction without fear. It's really great work that you're doing. So it's Free Gift Friday, and there's an opportunity here for somebody, some lucky somebody, to win a beautiful prize from you. What would you like to share with us today?
So I presented to the summit about why a morning and evening routine can help you love yourself. And so that is for anyone, is a free download on my website, and I will drop that into the chat afterwards. But what I would like to do for an individual today is give them a little self-care package, which will include a Rachel Hollis Start Today journal, which I talk about, that's really important for projecting what your dreams, what you want to be 20 years in the future, and writing those dreams in the present tense today, like you've already achieved them. So for example, number 4 on mine is, I am a New York Times bestselling author. And so when I write these every single day with my 5 things that I'm grateful for, and there's a format that she has created that I just love. And so when I write those things every single day, and I can recite them in memorization, every decision that I am making, whether it be the anthology or my own book, or what that looks like, or what I'm going to write in that book, I am keeping that dream in mind. And so that then it's true, because I'm already saying it, I'm proclaiming it out to the universe. So I would like to gift one of those to a lucky person. And then also just a little more cute little self-care items that I absolutely love. And I will put a little basket together to the lucky winner.
Oh, wonderful. That is so generous of you, Michelle. I am looking forward to the winner today really enjoying their basket. So I'm going to invite you, Michelle. Will you choose a number between 1 and 20?
I'm going to go with number 11.
And your lucky winner today is Lorraine Sanborn.
Yay,
Lorraine is listening over with us over on our Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group. She's a really active member of our Ladies Power Lunch group. And so I see her as being absolutely deserving of your wonderful gift that you're sharing with everybody. And also want to say thank you to everybody who's joined us over on the Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group today. I have a couple of things that I want to share before we wrap up. So I just wanted to do a little bit of a mail call. Cue mail call music here. This one is a thank you card, and it's from our dear friend, our best-selling co-author and also summit leader, Annie Garland. And she just has some wonderful, wonderful words of gratitude and inspiration here for all of us. So I want to say thank you to Annie for sending that over. And I have also a thank you card from Laura, and she also sends this Joy Flow journal. It's from Laura West, this Joy Flow journal, and it's an opportunity to remind ourselves that the universe is conspiring for our well-being. So thank you so much. For those of you who were early bird registrants for the Ladies Power Lunch Fall Summit, you would have gotten your swag box in the mail. And I had encouraged everybody to go ahead and, paint their glow and grow kits. So far, I've been able to do mine. I just wanted to share with everybody, this is my glow kit. I've made it into a little lighthouse. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what everybody else does, because I am no artist. Like you were mentioning the female architects that you're in contact with right now, and I was just thinking to myself, I couldn't even draw a straight line. That was not accessible to me at all, but I was able to paint my lighthouse. So I'm feeling pretty excited about that, looking forward to seeing what all everybody else does. And then this one is my grow kit. So I'm definitely going to plant my seed paper. So they're shaped like butterflies, but they're really seeds. And when you plant them, little wildflowers will grow. So you can put them in your little grow kit. But this is what I did. So this is supposed to be the sky. This is a flower. And then this is supposed to be the grass. Is everybody getting that? Or is that just like completely my imagination?
Love it. Love it.
So that's my art project for the day. I hope everybody got a chance to really tune into the beautiful crystals that we were able to get from our very, very dear friend. Um, she now has a new name for her company, and it was April B Jewelry, but now she's Intuitive Sage. I know I got that wrong. Anyway, the crystals are amethyst, citrine, pyrite, azurite, apatite, and they're all there for you to tap into your intuition, shine your light, embrace your confidence and abundance, be open to new ideas, manifest your ideas into reality. And of course, she did a dragonfly at the end, but the butterfly has the same symbolism of transformation as well. And of course, you have your flag of intention. So I hope everybody has an opportunity to write their words of intention on their flags. We had notebooks, pens, stuff from Barb Pritchard at Infinity Brand Design. We had some makeup from Mary Kay, courtesy our of Hannah, who is also one of our platinum sponsors. So yes, we did have a physical swag box, but we also have all the virtual swag that's sitting waiting for you inside the Encaptive portal. So I invite everybody to go ahead, go on over to Encaptive and just take advantage. You have an opportunity to go back in time at least until next week, Wednesday at 3 p.m. You'll be able to enjoy all the summit workshops at your leisure. Michelle, last words that you'd like to share with us before we go. Last words of wisdom. If we remember nothing else from our conversation today, what would you like to share?
I would like to say, don't be afraid to step into the light and allow your true self to shine.
Don't be afraid. And yes, I knew I was going to get it wrong. It's the sage goddess. And she's very intuitive. So I wasn't wrong about the intuition part, but the name of her new company is a Sage Goddess. And she gave us an amazing gift. I love your reminder to us. I love that you keep reminding us to love ourselves, because it all starts there, doesn't it? It really, really does. Christy, I so appreciate you joining us in the room today. I can feel your energy, just sharing it with all of us. And I really, truly appreciate that now you're a part of our group. You're one of our co-authors, our best-selling co-authors. And you have so much to share, such a bright, shining light in the world. Love you both. Love to everyone who joined us today on the show. And I'll see you guys on the next show. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.